So we're back for the 7th League of the day, or night now, as it may be. And we've spun the wheel and hit High Tide. So this is a Sapphire Storm list, or Mono Blue Storm, or just High Tide, that is centered around the card High Tide. What does High Tide do? Blue instant, until end of turn, whenever a player taps an island for mana, you add an additional blue. All of your lands are islands, including this one of Mystic Sanctuary, and fetch lands to find it. So what is this deck trying to do? Well, it's trying to make a ton of mana and eventually, essentially draw every card in the deck and win with Jace, Wielder of Mysteries. So, the cards. Of course, ye old classic Brainstorm and Ponder to draw, filter, etc. Dress Downs, because we're not playing any creatures, so this is irrelevant to hit on our stuff, and it cycles. We've got one Echoing Truth if we need to get rid of stacks pieces or something. Merchant Scroll, which we can use to go fetch blue instants, which will be relevant in certain cases. We have Turnabout. 4 mana instant. Choose artifact, creature, or land. Tap all untapped permanents of the chosen type target player controls, or untap all tapped permanents of the type that player controls. So usually what you have going is you have multiple islands in play, High Tide, and you use Turnabout on yourself, and it becomes a net mana positive card. We have Force of Will to force our opponent's stuff or protect our own stuff, Lorien Revealed, as a way to draw more cards or cycle for Mystic Sanctuary or just islands. And then the top end. So we've got Mind's Desire, which was recently unbanned. 6 mana, shuffle your library, exile the top. Until end of turn, you may play it without paying for it, Storm. And Time Spiral, 6 mana sorcery, exile Time Spiral. Each player shuffles their hand and graveyard in their library, draws 7, you untap up to 6 lands. So the idea is you build up a bunch of islands, and then you cast High Tide, you make a bunch of mana with all of your islands, and then you use Turnabout and Time Spiral to untap your islands to make even more blue mana, continue on, drawing, and then you reset with Time Spiral, untapping your lands, drawing more cards, and eventually you'll reach a state where you can Mind's Desire for a boatload of cards, and then win with Jace, Wielder of Mysteries. Obviously, it's a problem if your Jace gets Thought Seized or countered, which is why we have Force of Will, but we can also get it back via Time Spiral if we need to, shuffle it back into our deck. Oh, we also have 1 Pact Negation for the turns where we're going off. And then in the sideboard, more Pact Negations. We've got 1 Hurkyl's Recall for the artifact decks. We've got Snap, which is a bounce spell that untaps our lands. So it's either hitting creatures or just untapping 2 lands and making more mana because of High Tide. Force of Negation, Surgical Extraction for the graveyards, Defense Grid so that our opponent can't interact with us, and then Teferi's Realm, 3 mana World Enchantment. At the beginning of each player's upkeep, that player chooses artifact, creature, land, or non-aura enchantment. All non-token permanents of that type phase out. So this can do 2 different things, but primarily what it's going to do is it's going to phase out all the creatures on the board. So if your opponent has stacks creatures like Thalia or whatever, or Orcish Bowmasters, you can just Teferi's Realm, name creature, all their creatures phase out, and then you're good. You can also phase out all of your opponent's artifacts. So if your opponent has like Sphere of Resistance, Thorn of Amethyst, Chalice of the Void, Teferi's Realm, you name artifact, all of those things phase out. So this is your anti-stacks piece enchantment. Anyways, that is High Tide. I've never played this deck or seen the deck played, so that ought to go well. Let's jump into our 7th league. I somehow suspect that unlike show and tell before this deck's going to take a really long time to win the game. It's a decent deck, ton of different ways to build it. Some decks use Reset to win on other people's turns. For people who don't know what that card does, Reset's a 2 mana blue instant, cast only during an opponent's turn after their upkeep, untap all lands you control. And you Blue Sun Zenith or Brain Freeze your opponent out at instant speed. Yeah, that is one way to do it. On the draw for round 1. Alright, what does this hand do? A whole bunch of nothing, right? We've got 2 6 mana cards, 4 lands, and Echoing Truth. This doesn't seem that good to me. Let's mull that. Alright, that seems better. What am I putting back in this hand? 1 of the Force of Wills? Or am I just going to put back Dress Down? Because I don't even know what my opponent's on. Dress Down at least cycles. Let's put back Dress Down. Alright, what are they on? Alright, Ancient Tomb, show me a combo deck so I can force your stuff. No plays from the Ancient Tomb. Alright, well, play a land, go. Cavern of Souls. Alright, Force of Will just got really bad. It's Goblins. Name Sticker. Alright, I can at least counter anything that comes off of that. Sticker Goblin, 5 mana. Chieftain. Alright, let's counter it. Let's actually brainstorm in response. Because I'm going to brainstorm anyway, so let's just brainstorm now, because I know I'm going to do it. Wow, double High Tide, Flusterstorm. Okay, so I have to put 2 back. What am I getting rid of with Force of Will? Probably the other Force of Will, actually, or just like an irrelevant card. Like the other, so the Flusterstorm's completely irrelevant, as is the other Force of Will. So, it's pretty awkward that Merchant Scroll can't find Mind's Desire or Time Spiral or Lorien Revealed. Like it can't find any draw spells. It can only find the enablers, but not the payoffs. All right, I don't want to draw. I don't want to have Force of Will or Flusterstorm in my hand, so I can put one of those back and then put back. Let's put back Force Merchant Scroll and then force this, getting rid of Flusterstorm. All right, so back to us. Play a land. I want to fetch because I don't want to draw the next card. So grab an island. And then I could Merchant Scroll this turn. I already have 2 High Tides. So what am I scrolling for? Just Turnabout? I don't have enough lands is the problem. I just need to get more lands. All right, this is the most mana efficient play. Let's cast Merchant Scroll. And let's go grab, yeah, I guess Turnabout. Or another Brainstorm. Echoing Truth to bounce their stuff. That seems so bad. Let's just grab Turnabout. Over to them. Surely there must be an instant that you can grab that draws tons of cards for not too much mana. Ancient Tomb, Goblin mana. Name Sticker Goblin again. Making 6 mana. Oh, that's just wonderful. Name Sticker Goblin again. 8 mana. Muxus. Alright, I don't know how in the world I can possibly win this. Rabblemaster, Ringleader. Alright, do whatever you're doing. They got no goblins. What did they reveal? Land, Chalice, land. Well, I absolutely don't think I can win on my turn, so we're dead. Goblin Matron is going to tutor. They only have 2 mana, though, so they're 1 short of being able to cast a Lord that hastes everything. Goblin Ringleader. I don't think you need Goblin Ringleader, my dude. All right, swing. We take some amount of damage. Doesn't matter. We're dead next turn. Mystic Sanctuary, which will enter tapped if we play it. Beautiful. All right, well, if I High Tide right now, I make 2 mana, and then I can't untap anything because the untapped spells are Time Spiral and Turnabout. That cost 4 and 6. So even if I go High Tide, 2, Brainstorm, and then I can only play 1 more land, which would get me up to 3 mana, and then I'm dead, right? Yeah. So there's no way that I can cast Turnabout this turn. Wow, drawing this Mystic Sanctuary really screwed me. If that had just been an island, I could have maybe gotten out of this. Ugh. If I dress down here, do I still die? 2, 4, 6, 10. Yeah, I'm still dead even if I dress down here. Echoing Truth. Muxus kills me. Or 2, 3, or 2, 4, 6, 8, 9. Rabblemaster kills me. Yeah, alright. We're dead. So they side in Blasts. We side in... Their creatures are not Stax creatures, which means Teferi's Realm's not relevant. Counterspells are completely useless in this matchup, except for to counter their blasts in case we're like mid going off. So Snap, Defense Grid. They have Chalice of the Void in their deck, so Hurkyl's Recall is technically relevant. And then just like my Force of Wills are complete garbage, / Flusterstorm. So Flusterstorm out, Force out. Let's just have the Pacts instead of the Forces, I guess. This triggers on upkeep, right? Yeah, so... I guess maybe this is more relevant than Force. All right, so let's just... Or Pact Negation, let's just do that. No, it's not, because I can't name lands because it phases all my own lands out. Yeah, never mind. Let's just put these back. All right, submit. I mean, technically I could name like Artifact and phase out Chalice of the Void, but meh. All right, we're on the play for game 2. We only have 1 land, although we have Ponder and Lorien revealed to go to get another land, so it's not like completely dead, but this hand's not good, right? Like, it's just too expensive. We have all these expensive cards in our hand and we can't really play any of them. I think this deck you need to what? Just ensure that you're always hitting a land every single turn. So let's see. We have 2 lands guaranteed here, and then we have a Ponder to try to find more stuff, plus Turnabout. So maybe it's worth it. All right, I'll keep. I should probably cast Ponder first before doing anything else, because that at least gets around Chalice of the Void, if they play Chalice on turn 1 or something. All right, fetch, grab an island, play Ponder. I'm going to take a land. All right, that's fine. So land, Merchant Scroll, land, no shuffle. Over to them. Maybe this should just be Teferi's Realm. I'm not sure. Skirk Prospector. All right, so island, Merchant Scroll for High Tide, and then over to them. Cavern of Souls on Goblin. Battle Cry Goblin. All right. Take 1 from Skirk, go to 18. Drew an island. So if I go right now... High Tide, Turnabout, target me, untap, Time Spiral, untap. I can maybe win, but it's better to have more lands in play. So let's just pass and try to go off next turn, I think. Mountain, Rabblemaster. So make a Goblin. I think we might just be dead next turn, right? So we do have to actually... Yeah, we might actually die next turn. So we do probably have to try to go off. So Island Cycle, the Lorien revealed. grab a... Is Mystic Sanctuary relevant? What am I going to do? I'm going to go High Tide, Turnabout, untap all my lands. And then we're going to shuffle with Time Spiral before doing anything else. So it's not relevant. All right, so grab an island. All right, let's go for it. Island, High Tide, float, float, float. Turnabout, target me. Choose land. Untap them. Then float, 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 float. All right, so I guess I need to Echoing Truth the Skirk. They technically can still interact with me, right? So what's Echoing Truth the Skirk? I can Pact back if they don't. All right, well, they just let it get bounced. So cast Time Spiral, untap all my lands, and then I've played a land for the turn, so I can't do any more. So tap all my lands. If I Mind's Desire, I can't Time Spiral again, so I probably need to just Time Spiral. So let's go Dress Down, trigger, draw. Storm count's only 5. That's probably not enough. So cast Time Spiral, then untap all of these. All right, so I can Merchant Scroll for another High Tide. So let's do that. So Merchant Scroll, grab another high, or I can grab Turnabout. Is Turnabout better? It probably is better, right? High Tide makes these tap for 9, and then, so, okay. If I High Tide, I go tap, I have 1 floating, and then this is 10 mana. Or if I go for Turnabout, then I go tap, tap, target me, float 4, untap, and then I have even more mana left over, and I get to Mind's Desire a ton. All right, so let's grab Turnabout. So then float all of this, then Turnabout on me, name land, untap, then let's cast Brainstorm. All right, well, that's all crap. So put these back. All right, so let's see. Float, 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 float. I get another hit off of Mind's Desire if I cast Defense Grid first. So I have 7, 9, 11 mana. If I... No, these are free, right? Yeah, so I dig deeper. So let's go... I'm 1 short of being able... I get 2 Mind's Desires. That should be good enough, right? Yeah, cast Mind's Desire. Storm trigger, make a bunch of copies. All right, resolve them all. Mind Break Trap? You gotta be kidding me. I did not think I could have possibly needed to Defense Grid there. All right, sure. And then we're out of mana to Mind's Desire. Wow. All right, well, serves me right. I guess let's play Defense Grid. Don't play the grid now, it would be embarrassing. Yeah, well... We're just dead now, right? I've got a... If anything, I Mystic Sanctuary I don't get to get now. Like, Goblins is playing Mind Break Trap? Really? All right. Chrome Mox. Oh, they have Muxus now? All right, they have Muxus. There's no reason for them to play Chrome Mox here if they don't have Muxus. Gets rid of Name Sticker Goblin. So if I'd played Defense Grid first, I probably would have won. Incredible. All right. Wait, why does everything have haste? Oh, Chieftain. We're dead. All right. Wow, literally would have won that if I had just played Defense Grid first. Okay, live and learn. Round 2 on the play. We have 2 Merchant Scrolls that we can use to go fetch whatever. We also have Force. All right, I'll keep. Play fetch land, fetch, grab an island. Over to them. Bayou, Thoughtseize. Even if they Thoughtseize Jace, that's not a problem. Yeah, Thoughtseize resolves. Takes one of the Merchant Scrolls, eh? All right. We drew High Tide, so I'm going to Merchant Scroll for sure. So then the only question is, what am I getting? You can go off with 1 High Tide, so it's probably better to grab Turnabout. Although this hand's not good at all. I maybe just need to grab Brainstorm so I can get up to what I need. All right, Brainstorm, pass back to them. Underground Sea, Unmask, Archon of Cruelty. Yeah, Unmask. So it's Sultai Reanimator, Sultai Show and Tell, takes Force of Will, Entomb, grabs Gristlebrand. All right, well, we're dead. Reanimate Gristlebrand, we lose. 3 life. Unmask again, exile Reanimate, takes High Tide, sure. Brainstorm. All right, put back Pact Negation, and... Oh, wait, hang on. I don't need Jace in my hand, so let's put... Well, just both of these back, actually. So put... Oh, how do I get out of this? They don't technically kill us with Gristlebrand, but they draw so many cards that it doesn't matter. All right, put these back. Land, fetch, island, Brainstorm. Okay, well, Brainstorm again. This, that's fine. We're just still going to lose. Gristlebrand gets to draw another 7 cards. We're dead. We're so dead. Opponent's at 9... Grabs Badlands. Faithless Looting. I don't know why they have blue in their deck. Discards Sire of Insanity. Petal. Dark Ritual. Entomb. Puts Archon in the graveyard. Wouldn't Sire just win the game right here? Like, then I don't have any cards. Animate Dead on Sire. Alright, well, we're dead. So, Reanimator. Surgical. I guess Force of Negation's very relevant here. Snap. Take out Pact. Dress Down is not really relevant here, right? Anything that we're temporarily stopping is just a huge threat the next turn anyway, other than Grief. but mostly that's not good. Like, Snap can actually get rid of something. Blues for show and tell? Yeah, that makes sense. See, I can't cut any of my, like, combo. So what goes away? Let's see. Merchant Scroll. I'd probably just shave stuff, right? Mind's Desire, Time Spiral. No, not Time Spiral. Lorien Revealed. All right, let's run that. On the play. We got Surgical. We got a bunch of stuff. All right, keep Island, go. Badlands. Evoke Grief. Well, they're just going to take Surgical is the first thing they take. Cycle Lorien. Grab an island, whatever. Then they take Surgical and then they reanimate it, right? Yeah, Surgical. All right, F6 to the rest of this. Reanimate Grief. Take Snap. Well, let's Merchant Scroll for High Tide. Back to them. Faithless Looting. Discard Archon and Land. Underground Sea. Take 3 from Grief, go to 17. All right, Ponder. Second High Tide, and then Mind's Desire. Okay, so what is the sequence of events that happens? I'm playing a land this turn. I'm still short, right? I go High Tide, tap for 2, High Tide, and then I have 4, and then I'm short. So I need Brainstorm, so I can Brainstorm into something. So I should just draw the Brainstorm then. Although if the 4th card down isn't a land, that's a problem. So the 4th card down has to be a land, or this hand just basically gets landlocked, and then I lose. So maybe I'm actually supposed to shuffle this. Yeah, I'm going to shuffle this. Well, we drew another High Tide anyway, so play a land, back to them. Swamp, flashes back Faithless Looting from the yard. Discard Dark Ritual land, plays Lotus Petal, take 3 from Grief, go to 14. Even if they get Archon back, I can still just discard like Jace or something. So let's go Ponder. All right. More lands is what I need. So let's see. If I put Delta on here, I can Mystic Sanctuary and put what on top? Snap. If I get 5 lands into play, right, I go first one High Tides, second one High Tides, float 1. Then they produce 3 at a time. All right, so I probably just want to have both lands, right? And not bother having Force of Will on top. Because even if they reanimate Archon, fine. So I probably need to put Delta on top in case they thought seize the Time Spiral. Okay, so let's go this, no shuffle, draw the Delta, play the Delta, back to them. They're entombing at end step. Oh no, they're going to get Sire of Insanity and then we're dead. Oh no, they put Gristlebrand in the yard. All right. I'm surprised they're not just putting Sire of Insanity in the graveyard. Do they just not have a reanimation spell? Take 3 from Grief, go to 11. All right, I guess they just don't. So Island, fetch, grab another island, cast High Tide, then float, Time Spiral. I guess I can play both of these, right? And I'm making so much mana that it doesn't matter. All right, play Jace, cast Time Spiral. So untap all of these. All right, so float everything. Turnabout targeting... Oh, actually, cancel that. Hang on. We should Ponder first. Ponder. Snap. All right. I don't really care about Snap, so let's just shuffle and draw. Surgical. Okay. So float. Turnabout targeting me. Choosing land, choosing to untap. Then we get to cast Mind's Desire. For Storm is 6. That should be enough. Mind's Desire, Storm trigger. Make a bunch of Mind's Desires. All right. We should absolutely be able to win from here, right? So cast another High Tide. All right, they've conceded. Run back the same thing, I guess. Yeah, run back the same thing. I feel like with their ability to just use Thoughtseize type effects on us, maybe it's just like these forces are just not good. So maybe I want just more of the combo in here and just don't bother with a bunch of these forces. All right, let's submit that. On the draw for game 3, this hand is fine. Obviously, we need more lands, but otherwise it's good. Keep Evoke Grief. Well, nothing to do about that. Resolve this. Obviously, if they're going to reanimate it, they're just going to take Force of Negation first, and then takes Force of Negation. All right, F6 to the rest of their turn. Plays land. They're just going to reanimate. Dark Ritual. Entomb. Well, never mind. I guess they're getting back something even better. Gristlebrand. And reanimate. Draw a bunch of cards. Lotus Petal. Animate dead on the Grief. Then they grief us. And then we're literally dead in 2 attacks, right? There's no way we can get out of this. I guess if I exactly draw bounce spells, maybe I can get out of this. All right, this one. Like if I draw a bounce spell to bounce Gristlebrand, but that's unlikely. And then I still have to win after that. Oh yeah, this is one less because of Animate Dead. Unmask. All right, we're just not winning this. Let's just concede. It's fine. On to round number 3. Well, this is not going well. All right, we're on the play for round 3. We have Force. We have a Dress Down to cycle. We've got Lorien Revealed to get more lands. All right, I'll keep. Island, go. Swamp. All right, cycle Lorien Revealed. grab an island. All right, island, pass to them. Troll of Khazad-dûm cycle, gets Underground Sea. All right, so Dimir tempo, reanimate on Troll. I should probably force that. All right, force, get rid of pack negation. Forcing us back, eh? Getting rid of Murktide. I guess if I drew another force here, I would use it. So let's dress down in response. Another force, getting rid of Ponder. Okay, you got it. Stop on upkeep. Get out of here. Cycle the troll that we just bounced. Getting Underground Sea. All right, back to us. Okay, so I can Mystic Sanctuary back Lorien revealed and then use it to draw cards. Let's do that. Over to them. Underground Sea. Obviously, Bowmasters punishes us hard, but what are we going to do? Fetch, grab Mystic Sanctuary, trigger, get back Lorien. All right, try to resolve this. Lorien revealed. Well, we drew 3, and they didn't Bowmaster us. Back to them. 4th Underground Sea, 4 mana, Grief. All right, not sure what they'll take here. Maybe just Lorien revealed again. Took Time Spiral. All right, let's thin our deck before using Lorien. Actually, I should probably Ponder first, question mark? Like, if I drew High Tide, would I cast that first? I don't think I would. All right, let's just Lorien. Cast Lorien, draw some more, cast Ponder, Brainstorms on top. All right, so this one, no shuffle. I've played land already, right? Yeah, all right, so back to them. Wasteland, okay. Grief hits us, we go to 14. Over to us. All right, I don't want to draw the next thing, so let's fetch first. So land, fetch, grab an island, cast Brainstorm. Man, we're still missing, eh? What am I putting back? Flusterstorm's completely worthless at this point. I don't need this other land because I just played a land. And then I'm going to draw more of those cards off Lorien revealed, or I could cycle Lorien, but that seems so bad. It seems better to just draw more cards. All right, put that back. Oh, I could just cycle Lorien, right? To get though, I mean, I guess it's basically the same thing, right? I'm seeing more cards. All right, let's cycle that. Grab an island, play Brainstorm. There's High Tide. So land, go back. And then I can go High Tide, and I have exactly enough to cast Time Spiral right now. And then our opponent, unfortunately, gets to draw a bunch of cards with mana untapped, but let's go for it. All right, High Tide, mana, Time Spiral. Hard cast Force, Wasteland our thing. Okay, Force, and then we force back. Hit this, getting rid of Ponder. Time Spiral. All right, Time Spiral, untap, 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 untap. Merchant Scroll fetches. Another High Tide. All right. Merchant Scroll. Opponent cast Brainstorm in response. Sure. All right, they've just conceded to this. Sure. So, Dimir tempo. Not packed. Defense grid, yes. How good's Dress Down? Dress Down's only good when they're not griefing immediately. So when they're griefing later, basically. I am not sure what to do here. All right, let's just... No, because they also have Bowmasters in the deck, right? They have to have Bowmasters, which makes Dress Down actually good. So what's one card that I can cut for Defense Grid? Potentially Force? All right, let's cut Force, and we'll run that. 24-hour stream? I doubt that, but I'm still going. We'll see how long it lasts. All right, we got Dress Down, we got Merchant Scroll to find High Tide. This hand's so incredibly slow. I mean, but this hand doesn't have explosive starts, so it's fine. I'll keep. Wasteland, Cycle Troll, gets Underground Sea. All right, Island, go. Swamp, Thoughtseize, sure. Takes Merchant Scroll. We drew High Tide. All right, Island, back to them. Underground Sea. I don't know if I want to cycle Dress Down yet. I think I want to wait. All right, Island, go. It's because I want on the turn where I'm Sauron's Ransom. On the turn where I'm going to start Time Spiraling, I want to have Dress Down in play so that Bowmasters doesn't do anything, potentially. All right, Sauron's Ransom resolves. Dauthi, Grief, 2 lands. Oh my god. Well, let me think. I can respond to either one, right? So it doesn't matter which one I give them. So it's basically the question of... So Dauthi, I can go end step Dress Down. If they Grief, I just Dress Down anyway. All right, I'm going to put Dauthi... So I guess the thing I want them to do more is to hard cast Grief so that I can just Dress Down it in response. So I'm going to put Dauthi and Wasteland in the face-up pile so that they hopefully won't take that. But even if they do take that, it means they have to go shields down if they don't have another land besides this Wasteland, basically. So let's do that. All right, which one will they take? They did take Dauthi Wasteland. All right, so over to Dauthi, or over to them. All right, so they did have another land besides the Wasteland. Oh, they're not going to play Dauthi either. They're playing Grief. Well, I'll Dress Down in response to that. Dress Down. You gotta be kidding me. They only had 2 other unknown cards in their hand, and the 2 unknown cards were Force Blue Spell. Jesus Christ. Yeah, okay. Counter, Grief. I don't know what they're going to take here. Probably High Tide. Okay, well, play a land, and then we're just going to fetch and put High Tide back on top of our deck. So over to them. Plays the Wasteland. Plays that. I have to respond. I should cycle Lorien first. So cycle Lorien. Grab an island. Fetch with this. Actually, I can't even go off with Dauthi in play, right? I can put Merchant Scroll back on top of my deck, then what? I can grab Echoing Truth and echo it back. Maybe I just put Lorien Revealed on top and draw 3 cards. Although they can Wasteland me too. Even if I Echoing Truth it, it still just comes back again next turn. Alright, the best way to go off is to try to High Tide, so let's just put High Tide on top. Alright, Mystic Sanctuary, trigger, put High Tide on top. Then Dauthi resolves, Wasteland our land, and then we're on a 3-turn clock from these guys. We go to 16. Yeah, so land. I can technically Time Spiral right now. I just lose the Time Spiral to Dauthi, and then they get to redraw and potentially have counter spells. How is this hand going to get any better in a turn? If I draw a land, I guess it would be better. If I go High Tide Time Spiral, I get to untap with a fresh 7 and 8 mana. The problem is they get a fresh 7. All right, screw it. Let's go for it. High Tide, Time Spiral. All right, untap, 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 untap. Okay. I can High Tide again, and then I can Merchant Scroll for Turnabout and keep going. All right, let's do that. So tap, High Tide. Everything's just getting exiled to Dauthi. Oh, it's Force of Will. All right, tap, Merchant Scroll. Cycle the Troll. Okay. Cycle another Troll. Okay. We're just doing that to have fun. All right, so if I grab High Tide, I High Tide, then I tap this, then I have 6 mana. I Merchant Scroll for turnabout, untap, have a bunch of mana, and then I get 4 draws off of Lorien plus Jace, right? I untap and I have 3, 6, 9, 12. Or alternatively, I just go grab turnabout right now, use it, untap, and I have 9 mana still. I guess if I'm not winning this turn, I'm probably just straight up not winning, right? So I should just go for the maximum payout. So let's grab High Tide, cast High Tide. All right, we win, apparently. I had no guarantee that we were going to win that. On to round number 4. Deck confirmed good. Whoa, 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 whoa. Let's slow down. Let's not get ahead of ourselves there. All right, on the play for round 4. I guess that's fine. Keep. Island, Ponder. All right, so that's really good. Obviously, we need more lands, but... All right, this. No shuffle. Back to them. Lotus Petal. Cavernous Souls? Okay. Naming what? Human. Chalice of the Void on 1. Well, we got to counter that. So, Force, what am I pitching? I guess Dress Down, probably. Although, they're a human Cavernous Souls deck, so I probably want it. I also want to get more lands, so I don't want to get rid of Lorien Revealed. So, do I honestly get rid of Ponder? It depends on what humans they have. Let's hit this and get rid of Dress Down. All right. So then we draw second Merchant Scroll, and then I go land, Merchant Scroll, and go grab High Tide, and then back to them. City of Traders. Oh, is it just Boros Initiative? Chalice on 1. All right, double Chalice on 1, sure. All right, Island Cycle this, grab an island, Merchant Scroll, and then grab Echoing Truth so we can bounce that. All right, Echoing Truth. Back over to them. 2 mana. All right, there comes the Caves of Chaos Adventurer, right? Yep, there it is. Get to Plains. We have to Echoing Truth that end of turn, so we have to naturally draw an island right now. All right, so let me think this through. So I'm going to go end of turn, Echoing Truth, Chalice back to your hand. So if I want a Merchant Scroll right now, right? So I can go Merchant Scroll right now for something, and then I can go Polluted Delta, fetch Mystic Sanctuary. Do I want to put anything back on top with that to draw it? Probably, let's see, Lorien Revealed would work. Gets me another land, although it's a little awkward. I do need to draw into actually something good, right? So maybe just put Ponder on top since it gives me the maximum number of shots to actually get an untap effect. No, because I'm going to Merchant Scroll for Turnabout, right? Yeah, so Merchant Scroll for, or Time Spiral. No, I can't Merchant Scroll for Time Spiral. So Merchant Scroll for Turnabout. So then I'm going to put, or 2 High Tides, but I need a draw spell. I have 1 Ponder. Merchant Scroll for a thing, fetch Mystic Sanctuary, put another Merchant Scroll on top, or Ponder. Then I untap, and presuming I don't find another land, I go High Tide, I have 6 mana, Then I turn about myself, float 2, untap this, have 8, have 10 total. So I can use Lorien Reveal to just straight up draw 3 cards, or I can use Ponder to try to dig. Lorien puts me down to 5 mana, and then I'm out of the range of using Time Spiral. My best shot is probably, man, if they untap and they just play like Archon of Emeria, I'm so screwed as well. I guess if they have double stacks pieces, we just lose the game though, right? So let's Merchant Scroll. We definitely need to get Turnabout. So grab Turnabout, and then I don't need to do this now. So I make my decision on their turn. So pass over to them. Then Caves of Chaos Adventurer becomes a 7/5, hits us, we go to 12, and they get to see 1 extra card plus the 5 in their hand. All right, they hit us. A Simian Spirit God on top, that's of no help to them. Go to 12. Yep, plays the Plains, sack the City of Traders. Oh my god, it is Archon of Emeria. And then we're taking lethal next turn because we're taking 7, 9, 14. How do I get out of this? If I draw into Dress Down, no, that doesn't matter. Either one that I echo, I'm then screwed out of being able to do anything else, right? I go fetch Mystic, echo this or Chalice back to hand. So if I put Merchant Scroll on top, then what? I can technically turn about them to tap their creatures down, so that buys me 1 turn. If I Echoing Truth this back, then they just replay it next turn. If I Echoing Truth this back, then we're dead. All right, what if we draw Dress Down? Okay, I have to not get Mystic Sanctuary. I have to get just an island, put nothing on top, so that I have, what, Turnabout plus Force of Will? So I have to be able to go Echoing Truth, this, draw Force of Will, Turnabout, oh no, then the Archon's in play and I can't counter it. Yeah, there's just no way we can get out of this. We're dead. Okay, so I want Teferi's Realm so that I can phase out stuff. I want Snap and I want Hercule's Recall. I don't want Pact. And the forces are pretty bad in the face of Cavern of Souls, although they don't always have the Cavern for their stack stuff. Like, the Cavern's mostly for the humans, so it is useful to some degree. What am I cutting? It's also very, very relevant. Okay, so Flusterstorm's irrelevant. That can go. And what else? Fairy's Realm solves most of my problems if I have it. Snap is really only good to hit specifically Archon and nothing else, whereas Echoing Truth also hits Chalice. All right, let's not bring in Snap. Although, again, if they have an Archon, I just have to deal with it, so this is another way of dealing with it. All right, let's cut 1 Mind's Desire and 1 Force of Will. On the play, we only have 1 land, but we have a Lorien Revealed to find another one and Brainstorm. So, keep. Play this, hold up Activation or Brainstorm. Ancient Tomb, Chalice on 1. All right, Brainstorm in response. Try to find an out. None of that's an out. Oh man, that's so bad. All right, let's stop on my upkeep so that I can cycle before drawing any of this crap. I don't need a 3rd High Tide, and Ponder's irrelevant as long as this is in play. All right, let's put Snap back. It resolves, and then stop on upkeep, cycle, find an island. All right, what are we drawing? Another island. All right, play an island, go. City of Traders, Lotus Petal. Here comes Seasoned Engineer. Yeah, all right. So we got a clock, and we got to deal with Chalice. Draw for turn is Ponder. All right, island, go. So this goes up to 5. Oh, they're scrying? Why not just forge this? Seasoned Engineer, Chromox on top, Explore, trigger, go become a 4/6, bin, or 4/5, bin that. Go to 16. City Traders tap Cavernous Souls. This dies, naming Archon, and all right, then we're gonna get Archoned. Drew a land. All right, Mystic Sanctuary. What? Oh, this doesn't trigger if it enters tapped, regardless of whether you have 3 islands. All right, over to them. How on earth do I get out of this? I have to draw Dress Down and play it and hit a bounce spell for Chalice of the Void. Attack, explores Ancient Tomb into hand. We take 6, we go to 10. Fable the Mirror Breaker, whatever. Draw for turn is Time Spiral. How much damage are we taking here? We're taking 8 down to 2. Even if I Time Spiral next turn, I'm still dead. All right, whatever. Land, go. Should stop on my own upkeep. Make a Skeleton. Fable. Discard 2 Ancient Tombs. By the way, this Boros Initiative deck is the most cancerous thing in Legacy. I hate this deck so much. All right, can't block. We go to 2. City Traders. Oh, cool. Caves of Chaos Adventurer. Initiative. This goes to the final room. Look at the top 10. If it's another Archon, then whatever. Another Seasoned Engineer. Initiative. Why am I still playing this game? Because I'm technically I have a 0.1000% chance to not lose. All right, fetch. Grab an island. Draw. All right, we're dead. 5th and final round. You know what? I need to just veto certain decks off the wheel in the future. I'm not made of ticks. I don't have infinite ticks. We should have never played High Tide. All right, fifth and final round. We're on the draw. This hand's fine. Keep Urza Saga. Shadow Spear. Okay. Bauble. All right. Fetch. Island. Ponder. 2 lands. Okay, so this. No shuffle. Pass to them. Saga up to 2. I assume an Ancient Tomb is inbound. There's the Ancient Tomb. They're just going to activate it in main phase. Okay. Cool thing is Dress Down's really good against the Construct tokens. Bad news is it's only 3 cards in our deck. All right. I probably want to Ponder right now. So actually, brainstorming away this pack negation seems pretty good. Well, since I can do all of that at instant speed, then I may as well just pass. Over to them. I finally get back, and it's another monocolor Storm deck. Nice. I don't know how nice it is. We're not doing very well. Make another Construct. 5/5 Constructs. We're literally on a 2-turn clock. It's insane. Mox Opal. Plays a land. Like, literally, we're on a 2-turn clock. We're actually dead next turn if we don't deal with these. Our opponent has actually cast no spells except for a Shadow Spear and a Bauble, and we're losing. Take 7. Go to 12. We can't Storm off on our turn, so we have to find Dress Down. All right, Brainstorm. Put back Pack Negation, and it's irrelevant to have 2 Time Spirals in my hand, so put back that. Then Cycle Lorien revealed. Then Island. Then untap. Island. So if I go High Tide, High Tide. So High Tide, floating 1. High Tide. Or so 1 High Tide. Float 1 High Tide again. Activate. Turnabout myself. Untap. 9 mana. Time Spiral. Alright, that's the plan. High Tide. You gotta be kidding me. And they have Force of Will. And they have Force of Will. Alright. Hercule's Recall. Defense Grid. They probably run Chalice of the Void, so Teferi's Realm, cut Pact, and cut all my own forces. I don't know. Screw it. Cut all my own forces. Who cares? Submit. If you're just joining the stream recently, I have a bunch of Arena codes here, so if you play Arena and you would like a free code, just type in the chat you'd like one, and I'll whisper one to you. All right, we're on the play. What do we have? Land, Lorien. We do have Dress Down. All right, this is fine. Land, go. I hear your names. I'll type it as soon as I've got time in between the matches. Spire of Industry. All right. Fetch. Grab an island. Cycle Lorien revealed. Grab another island. Untap. Land. I can Merchant Scroll for what? Another High Tide. A Turnabout. Hercule's Recall would be pretty good, but I already do have an Echoing Truth in my hand and a Teferi's Realm in my hand. All right. Let's just Merchant Scroll and grab another High Tide. Over to them. Seed of the Synod, Urza's Bauble, and here comes the Chalice, right? That's the only thing in plan 2. There's the Chalice. All right. Well, we absolutely have to draw a land so we can Teferi's Realm. We did not draw a land. I guess I can Echoing Truth that at the end of their turn. All right, pass. They baubled us, revealing Merchant Scroll. Bauble. Casts Emery. Okay. I'm not Dress Downing because they already have artifacts in their graveyard anyway. Or they already had a Bauble in their graveyard anyway, rather. Plays another Bauble. Cracks the Bauble. Oh, man. I can't even go off next turn, but, like, I just need Brainstorm to find a land, right? Yeah, so just Echoing Truth, the Chalice. End of turn. All right. Upkeep, Bauble triggers. Still no lands. All right, Brainstorm. We're... Okay, at least one of those is Lorien revealed. Jesus Christ. Okay, so I don't need Jace in my hand, and I don't need Merchant Scroll. Merchant Scroll gets me Turnabout. I don't need double Dress Down. So let's go. Let's put one of the Dress Downs back. And then let's Island Cycle this, grab another island, and then play the island and play Ponder. That is some pretty sweet top cards. I would like more islands, but I guess I don't have them. So that being the case, oh man, like they're a deck that plays Force of Will. So the problem is I need to have more lands. Yeah, I can't keep this. Yeah, I can't keep it. I guess I can keep like 2 of the cards and then Merchant Scroll for another card, right? So I can keep like Turnabout and Mind's Desire. And then Merchant Scroll away the other turn, the last one, and then eventually find an island. That's just going to take so many turns, right? All right, let's go this one, this one, this one. No shuffle. Back to them. So then they get to Bauble again to draw another card, replay the Chalice of the Void. I guess if I don't resolve Teferi's Realm, I just lose instantly, right? Like if Teferi's Realm gets countered, I just die. Patchwork Automaton. They're not even bothering to play Chalice, or do they have no? Oh, Lotus Petal. Okay. Mox Opal. And then here comes Chalice. What's the clock at this point? Patrick Automaton gets to trigger at least once per turn, if not more. We just lose to Force of Will, so let's just run out to Fairy's Realm. All right, to Fairy's Realm resolved. So back to them. So they just chose enchantments, so this goes away right now. So then we're going to draw another turnabout, and I have to Merchant Scroll for a way to answer this, right? No, I don't, because to Fairy's Realm I just name Artifact, that goes away. They cast Shadow Spear, and it gets countered, but it still puts a counter on the Patrick Automaton. I sided out all my forces, so I can't scroll for one. I can scroll for Flusterstorm, though. The problem is I know I'm not drawing a land. 3 mana. Oh, they're playing Kappa, so I don't have the time to wait. I just have to name Artifact and try to go off and hope they don't have Force of Will. Kappa comes in, it's a 5/5, so this alone is 11 power right now. And then they're going to replay another thing with Emery and make this 13 power. So next turn it becomes 15 power. So if they have 2 more artifacts, I just die. I probably have to try to win right now. All right, Bauble Trigger resolves to Fairy's Realm, name Artifact. I can end of turn dress down. I guess that makes sense. So this is 13. If I dress down, they don't get any bigger. All right, so we're still just so incredibly dead to Force of Will, but whatever. I'm unfamiliar with phasing. Do they come back summoning sick? No. End of turn dress down. Shuts off Emery from being activated and shuts off these from going up more counters. All right, we drew an island, so over to them. Oh wait, no, because Teferi's Realm is going to pick, they're just going to pick enchantment and then dress down goes away. So if they have 2 more artifacts, I'm dead. Yeah, so these go away. Now all of these are back online. They do still have to actually have Emery plus 2 other artifacts that they can cast. Although that's not really a hard ask in their deck. Plays another Patchwork. All right, 1 more artifact and we're dead. Show me an artifact. All right. Well, I wanted to know if they had the Force of Will, but our opponent can't even do this the courtesy of telling us. Well, that's that. 1 and 4. So I could have tried to go off there, and then if we would have only lost to a Force of Will, or I mean, part of our combo involves time spiraling. So okay, this deck is friggin' horrible. It's probably the worst deck we've played so far. You're a Storm deck, but you can't actually storm off and win early on. You have to wait until you have, like, usually at least 4 islands in play. You require a ton of setup. You specifically cannot actually go off unless you get exactly High Tide, whereas most Storm decks will have multiple pieces of, like, ritual mana advantage. You have 1 win con, and if that win con gets permanently dealt with, you lose. You've got Merchant Scrolls that can only really go search for counter spells or High Tide or Turnabout. So if you're missing a card draw spell, it can't actually find a card draw spell. The Pact of Negation in the main is horrible. The forces in the main are horrible. It should probably just be like Defense Grid or something in the main, like just some other thing that you can play proactively that doesn't cost you 2 cards to use. The Dress Downs have multiple matchups where they do nothing. You have exactly 1 Echoing Truth. If your opponent resolves a stack piece through a Force of Will, like if you don't have a Force of Will and they resolve a stacks piece, you've got 1 Echoing Truth and the Merchant Scrolls to find them. You often don't have the time to find them. Your deck loses to any Rule of Law. It loses to any taxing effect. It loses to Chalice of the Void. This deck is absolutely awful. Just completely wretched in every way. Never, ever, ever play it.